This week on Tasmanian Takeover, injuries devastate the island, our youngsters get the chance to shine, and have the Jackies lost their mojo? All that and more right here on the Ants Nest. March on, Jackies.
Bumps it down. Turnover. Game to tie. The jump dang. Bloody good. How good. These JackJumpers. They just never say die. What is up? It is the Ants Nest for another week. Tasmanian Takeover on your dial. JD and Berto. And I'm trying to stay as positive as possible, but man, it's been a rough couple of weeks. It's nice to watch that intro video and remember happier, more celebratory times. But before we get into all of that, JD, how are you, brother?
Oh, mate, we keep taking the L's, but we keep turning up. That's the Jackie's way, and that's the way of the Ants Nest as well. Rain, hail, or shine, we're not fair weather supporters. We will keep pumping out the podcasts.
No, we will, even if it is a little bit harder. And look, we will get into all of that. We're certainly not going to get onto a rant or a bashing or anything like that. So if you're tuning in just to listen to us apparently tell you all the things that the JackJumpers need to do and improve, it ain't going to happen. JD is so ingrained in football, he continually calls a court a field. And the last thing you ever want to do is listen to my coaching skill. I mean, the last time I took a court was, back when I was in high school. And I'll tell you what, it certainly wasn't under any professional or semi-professional situations. So, we're not analytical experts on this. But what we will do is we'll say, what we saw, how we feel, and hopefully what things can look like moving forward. But before we get
Ask
into
me
all
what
that,
I did yesterday, Berto.
Oh, what did you do yesterday, JD?
Mate, I sat on YouTube for the entire day watching Question Time for the Australian Parliament as the pollies went back and forth on whether we're going to build this bloody stadium or not.
Oh God!
And 25 of the pollies in the lower house made the correct decision. Onto the upper house, so Hobart can get its. No, not even Hobart. All of Tasmania can get its stadium and get its AFL team. So
you do realise this is a
rocking
recorded podcast, and your bosses are now probably listening to how non-productive you were. They don't listen. They do now. I'm sending it to them via email now. This is what JD gets up to instead of working. But I'm happy for you. I don't know. I'm funny with the whole thing, to be honest with you. I still would have liked there to be an option where they could have renovated a stadium and done what they've done with the JackJumpers, renovate the deck and make it my state. See how the team goes, see how the popularity grows and whatnot. My biggest thing is it is a large amount of money going into it, and I just hope that it doesn't end up. I mean, as an ex-Sydney sider, I saw what happened to a bunch of arenas post-Olympics. And a lot of them sat there pretty bloody desolate for a long time with a lot of promises made about this, that, and the third of them being used and not to capacity. And don't get me wrong, Olympic Park still gets plenty of events going on and still gets, kudos. Bank Arena is where the Kings play, and it's got all the shows and all the gigs and the footballs played there and all this sort of stuff's going on. But there's still a lot of the smaller sporting venues that were built specifically for the Olympics that aren't potentially getting the full capacity. Now, I'll just put a disclaimer in there before anyone jumps on and goes, that's all bullshit and rah, rah, rah. I have not sat there and cross-checked every single venue and gone, yep, it has had X amount of usage or whatever else. I am just making a statement based on observations having lived in Sydney throughout that period and moving down here about 8 years ago. So that's all.
We've had a good run, Berto. I don't think we can agree to disagree on this one. This will be the last Ants Nest for me. I'm out.
Yeah, good on you. There's more chance of me being out before you are,
Yeah,
to be
yeah, that's
honest with you,
true. You've been
which is
very
probably
down in the dumps this week.
oh, mate, it's just been busy as. So, probably should address another elephant in the room. Upcoming weeks, we're coming to the end of the year business at work. I travel up to Sydney. My work is up in Sydney. I'm going to be out of action for about 3 weeks. I'm not going to say who, but we're going to have some guests coming on. You may see some familiar faces. There may be some randos who come on as well, but yeah, do keep tuning in. JD is going to continue running this bus into the ground and bring a few victims along with him. But we'll keep it going. But that's where I'm disappearing to. No, I'm not wrapping up and leaving the podcast. I've just got to go off and do work-like things, and it's always a good bit of time up there. You know, we also do some Christmas party like, which is very nice. So
Very
yeah,
nice.
all the while I will be still keeping across what's going on with our boys. Speaking of keeping across things, make sure you're across all our socials. Tasmania Takeover. JD has finally gotten all the clips up onto TikTok. So if you're into TikTok, you can definitely go and check out Tasmania Takeover on there. And it's obviously all Ants Nest clips at the moment, but you know, over time he'll probably start putting some Devil's Den stuff up there.
Mhm.
And you know, I'm getting vision of JD sitting there dancing or whatever else, wherever it is, Devil's jersey and doing all that sort of jazz. So
Yeah, with ramen.
if you want to look at that kind of stuff, you know, yeah, I can't help you, but it'll be available. Yeah, so Tasmania Takeover, all the socials, and of course, keep liking, sharing, subscribing to all the platforms that you're listening to this show on, because it helps us get found organically and doing all that good stuff. Right. So apart from sitting there watching parliamentary questions and whatnot, what else you been up to? Any exciting?
Just been licking my wounds after watching the basketball. Berto, it's been very tough to watch at times. So yeah, the been a bit down in the dumps, let's say. Yeah, we are blessed with a history of success in the JackJumpers, and this sort of sustained these sustained losses. It's a bit hard to know how to take it. We've never been in this position before, so
Oh, are you sure about that though?
we've never lost. What is it? Is it 7 in a row now?
Nah,
It's
5 in a row.
is it 5?
Yeah, it's
Never lost
5.
5 in a row at home. That's for sure.
That's probably the bigger concern, is the fact that we've lost so many at home. But then that being said, everyone keeps saying we're losing at home, but 2 of those games were the Silverdome games. And we know we've got the Silverdome curse. So I'm not going to mince words about that. We don't play well up in Lonnie.
Mhm.
It is what it is.
We love Lonnie.
Yeah,
We don't play well there.
yeah, got absolutely no problems with any other part of the state, but for some reason that particular arena, even with Renos, we're just not coming up trumps there. So
Yeah.
I sit there and go, okay, well, I don't see them all as home losses. I know they are still considered our home arenas, but the nest is our home arena. My state is our home arena. But yes, we have taken some losses there. Now, a couple of things we do need to consider, and at this point, we're getting into the news, the Nest on Notice news. We didn't get to play our last game with Mags. He was out with a bruised knee, and whilst he's going to be reassessed for the Wildcats, he may be out for up to a month. That's a huge blow. And
Massive.
when you think about it, yeah, we've got some backup there. I mean, obviously, you've got Banham and you've got Jook. And we have a couple of other big blokes who it'll be good to hopefully see some minutes from them. But because of the lack of minutes and also the lack of experience, it still hurts to not have Mags. And that's, Woodhill and Kobe.
Absolutely beefy.
Yeah, beefy. Kobe has barely gotten any minutes, and it's for whatever reason, he's not getting played and not getting to, well, I don't know if he's able to fill that void yet. And so other than maybe being able to run him in rotation to give Mags a break when Mags is healthy and on the court, we still need Big Will on there. And that's a concern. And we saw it. It was extremely evident against the 36ers. I mean, at one stage there was a matchup between Woodhill and Humphreys.
Mm-hmm.
Humphreys just muscled him. And
Yep.
even the commentators made the comment along the lines of, that's just experience, kid. It was almost like when younger brother takes on big brother and big brother's just like, that's cute, but no, not today.
Yeah.
And that is
like when you used to put your hand on their forehead and their arms too.
Flailing at you. So that was really concerning.
Stop hitting yourself.
And there were a couple of times where you could just see that there were shots that were going up where Mags would have just swatted that away like it was, no thing.
Yep.
And we're just not able to do that. We have the potential return of DJ. He's looking very likely for the Wildcats game, and that's going to help us. I mean, having the dual shooting power of DJ and of Bryce out
Bryce
there.
Magic.
Yeah. Yep. What do you call him? Bryce Magic. I like that.
Bryce Magic.
It's going to help us. I'm just a little concerned what condition DJ is going to be coming in. He's missed quite a few games. Is he going to come out and start firing? And I mean, this is our first season with him. We don't know what we don't know yet.
Yep.
And then in unfortunate news, we've lost Drew. And potentially we've lost Drew for the whole season with his back. And it looks like it's going to get continually assessed. But I mean, that's back. It's not... this is not good. This is not good.
It's not good.
It's looking rugged. Last season we dealt with this. A lot of injury, poor timing and the like.
I think what probably hasn't been spoken enough about is, with this injury to Mags and the doctor out indefinitely, that's our captain and vice captain out for extended periods of time. The amount of leadership that those two bring to the court is huge. They set the tone.
That is a really
they set
good
the
point,
tone
mate.
on the on court, and if there's one thing I've noticed, and I'm going to talk about it a number of times throughout the episode, is the Jackie's way has sort of gone away. Just watching the games, there hasn't been that manic pressure that we've been used to over the last 5 years. There's a lot of open space. I know we're trying to play a little bit faster this year, but the manic pressure that is synonymous with the JackJumpers has gone away. And I just wonder if that's down to these niggling injuries to the doctor, who was a serial pest. He was in your face. If you've got the ball, the doctor is making it hard for you to do anything. And Mags is just a brick wall. So, and the leadership and the Jackie's way has dropped off significantly, I would say.
You make a really good point there. I mean, from a leadership perspective, I saw that Will was still there at the home game and just not suited up, but Drew wasn't. So you're absolutely right. You don't have your vice captain there. And that Jackie's way, that grit and I think we've still got the grit and grind about us, but we don't have the defense. We don't have the pressure defense that we have been known for. And it is being commented on. Commentary during the games has pointed that out. It is... We've seemed to have almost focused a little too much on offense and not enough on defense, but I don't think it's been a conscious decision to do so. And I certainly don't think it's a conscious decision, because that doesn't sound like the way Roth sets the system up. Scott has always been about defense, always been about defend the island. And defend the island's not just a mantra for winning games. It's a mantra about showing defense. He said that. I think that's a really valid point. And I wonder if that is, have we got too many players that are offensive players, are offensively minded instead of that defensive minded player? You know, it's an interesting thought. And look, I really hope this is just a situation where every season we seem to have a bit of a downhill slump. And all past seasons, we seem to find our footing again. We found that last season, as much as that was an up and down season, we still got to make it to a playing game. I remember in season 1, there were questions as to whether we were just going to be another new team in the league, and it is what it is. You know, no dramas. Give them a couple of years, they'll be fine. And then we suddenly, you know, pulled a rabbit out of the hat, if you will, and look at where we ended up. I hope this is just we've got to weather this storm until the FIBA break. I hope, my concern is the FIBA break, we've got a couple of players heading off to play, and of all players, we've got Mags and Banham. That scares me.
Plays now.
Well, that's if Mags plays. I think he will, but I'm very concerned about whether he comes back fit. And if we lose him and we lose Banham due to injury, that scares me. It actually does concern me a lot. And if for whatever reason something happens and they've got to tap Benny Air, oh no. So I really hope we don't become victims of our own success, which I feel is kind of what happened last year as well. You know, players were being called up to play for the Boomers. We had the Singapore run, you know, like we, to some degrees, were victims of our own success. So it'll be very interesting. I suppose we should start looking at some of the games here. The big size says it all. All right. So let's get into it. Brisbane Bullets at My State Arena on the 1st of November. The final score, 81-83. What I will say, and this is something that we're going to see throughout all the games, they weren't really huge blowouts. There was I think one game we've had that has been massively blown out. But this one was a real fight, and it did feel like it went back and forward quite a bit. We had some really great performances from Nick Marshall. 18 points, 9 rebounds, 3 assists. But we seemed to struggle quite a bit with the second and third quarters. And this kind of felt a little bit of Jackie's of old, where we'd have the third quarter blues come out and just lose it in the third quarter, and then hard to say what was going to happen with the fourth. What do you make of this game?
Look, we seem to be making a habit of letting either the other team's first or second best player dominate us. And while Jalen Adams was incredibly quiet in this game, Casey Prather just dominated. The amount of time I spent taking out Casey Prather highlights of this highlight package when I cut it up was phenomenal. He was a monster. 28 points, 8 rebounds, 2 assists. He basically brought his own basketball. And it's not the first time this has happened. Bryce Cotton towed us up earlier in the game. We let 3 Cairns players towel us up during the game against Cairns. It just seems like we're capable of stopping 1 or 2. But someone always gets off the chains and makes us hurt, which is really bad considering we're only losing by 1 to 5 points a game at the moment. We're in every single game, and you can see the score there. We were 10 points down in the last quarter. We ended up only losing by 2 points, and Nick Marshall had a shot on the buzzer to effectively win the game. Now, he had 3 blokes on him. Ben Eyre was wide open. The decision making when you're under that amount of pressure goes away. But I think if he had flicked it out there it is there. If he had flicked it out to Ben Eyre there, we probably would have won that game.
And that's a really good point. It's quite interesting to sort of sit there and go, well, is this down to the experience of the team now? We are a younger team. We are a less experienced team. I mean, when you look at the makeup of the Jackies over the last few seasons, Roth was picking players that were, I suppose to some degree, they had quite a bit of experience under their belt, and maybe they were being, they weren't getting the play time or whatever else, and they had a bit of a chip on their shoulder and something to prove. By going for a more younger, hungrier, I suppose, if you will, playing group, are we in a situation where we're lacking that bit of experience on the court and that basketball IQ, if you will?
Yeah. I think so. We've got a very young team this year. Hamilton's 24. Tiger, I think, is 23, 24. I don't know how old DJ is, but he's got a baby face. If that means anything.
And then even our locals aren't all that old. I mean, Ben Ayres only quite young. Nick Marshall's only quite young, and that's even before
Josh Bannon is 23, who we're going to talk about right now.
Exactly. And I mean, like, they're all great players, don't get me wrong, but it's not like they're veterans. They're not vets.
Absolutely.
And, like, that makes a huge difference sometimes when it comes down to crunch time, that veteran mindset.
Cool head.
You saw it with Captain Clint, even when he was slowing up a little bit towards the end of his playing days, just the way he could still command on the court just come from years and years of experience, and that, been here, seen it all before. I suppose it's like anything, you go into, you're dealing with anything where there's a high pressure situation. The one who's seen it a million times before is the one who just comes and goes, oh, well, here we go again. Let's go. Roll up the sleeves, make it happen. So, yeah.
Sure.
All right. For this game, we've got our player in focus, and we've looked at Josh Bannon for this one, the workhorse. There's no other way we can put it. Josh is just continuing to be an absolute workhorse. Maybe not the flashiest, but who cares about flashiness when you're here, you're there, you're everywhere. He's averaging a double-double every game, just about. That's phenomenal. Look at him. If you're watching the footage, you can just look at him go, just constantly everywhere. He's like the Energizer Bunny.
He's great, and we've talked about him on most podcasts this year. I think if Bryce Hamilton wasn't playing, he'd probably be leading our MVP at the moment, because he is, like you said, he's not flashy. He's not. Very rarely does he whip out a dunk, but he just gets in spots and gets the easy shots. It's what we've needed for the last 3 or 4 years, is someone who just sits in the paint and just puts it in. And that's what you can rely on Josh Bannon to do.
Absolutely. I do. I love his little flick hook in. It's almost like an ain't no thing. It's like he's, I don't know, like he's turfing a bloody piece of paper into the garbage bin. As you're walking through the office, you just, oh yeah, that got him beautiful.
He makes it look so easy.
He does. He's a young bloke who's got a lot of potential. And I really think in our system, he's going to just continue to thrive. And I see him being one of the future leaders for the Jackies. I really do. I really do. All right. Well, then we get to the Adelaide 36ers, which, hang on, I think I gave you the wrong date on the Brisbane Bullets game, 1st of November, because, no, it would have been the 1st of November, because the Adelaide was played on was that Thursday night?
Well, that was played yesterday.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
that would have been the
yeah,
13th of November. This is what
yeah.
happened. Look, I've got JD doing the show notes, and I'm sitting there hoping that I
Proofreading.
don't have to remember a thing. This is the same guy who sat there and tore into Chase Buford when he's not even part of our league anymore. And we will never
Proofreading.
forget.
I need a proofreader for sure.
All right, so against Adelaide, 86-97. Yep, we took another loss for this one. Again, what I would say is there were plenty of opportunities where we were staying in there.
Mhm.
I wouldn't say we had control though, and that was probably the thing. Adelaide were pretty well in control most of the game, if not all the
Yeah,
game. They certainly held the lead the whole time. At one stage, yeah, they blew the lead out to like what was it, 20 something points,
yep.
which was where I sort of sat there and went, "Oh no, this is going to be rough." Then we got it up to within what I think it was within 6 or within 4, something like that towards the end there. Admittedly, throughout this, Bryce Cotton was doing Bryce Cotton like things. He certainly, there was certainly a couple of times where I think we saw Bryce Cotton getting Bryce Cotton like things. A
Mm.
few calls that were questionable, but then there were also a couple of calls which certainly went our way against him, which, I don't know if that was a good thing or a bad thing because I think we pissed him off.
Maybe they
At
listened
one
to us last game, but
Yeah, I don't know, but at one stage there was a series of calls that seemed to go against Bryce, and then Bryce almost like there was a flick of the switch, and he's like, "Well, that's cute. Here, hold my beer," and away he went. He went to work, and it just, yeah, I did worry about that a little bit. What do you make of the game, mate?
I actually think we did really well. We kept Bryce to only 12 points, which he scored 30 on us last game. Saying that, I come back to it. Either their best or their second best player tends to towel us up, and
Yeah.
Cheatham scored 27 points, 14 rebounds. Berto,
Mm,
14 rebounds for the double-double and 4 assists.
yeah.
He was absolutely everywhere and basically made us look silly, a bit like Casey Prather did the
Mm,
week before. It was I just watched these. I watched these highlights and I just see so much space
yep.
when Adelaide have the ball. We let other teams do what they want a little bit, which is it's just not the Jackies way. And I
Yeah.
know I come back to it. I know we're trying to mix it up and we're trying to evolve with the league, which went super high scoring last year, and we felt like we probably missed the boat on that. But I think you need to make sure you don't lose the essence of what you are when you
Yep.
are trying to add something to the team.
Yeah,
And
you're
and I,
absolutely
I
right.
do think we got that.
But there shouldn't be that much space. We should be on to them a
Yeah.
lot more. It's hard to make a shot with a hand in the face. Now, I do agree that you've then also, when you're going to put a hand in the face, you've got to be extremely careful about fouls and the like.
Mhm.
And there are some times when I think we're not making, safe decisions around when we are putting a hand in the face. But again, I stand by it's very hard to make a shot when you've got a hand in the face, and you can't put a hand in the face if you're, 5 foot away. So,
Yep.
yeah, get in there, get up there, get tight. But we did see some great play. Nick Stoddart did some magic things particularly in the last quarter. 5 points, including the 3-pointer with a massive block. That was
It was
fantastic.
huge. He punted that into the fifth row.
And we got to see some minutes from Archie Woodhill, back from, I believe his injury required an operation, and quite a significant one. He apparently only got a little bit of training prior
Yeah.
to this game, which is, pretty good. First minutes of 5-on-5 training happened that week. So to get some good minutes, and I mean, as I say, he got in there, and admittedly, there were a couple of times where certainly going up against Isaac Humphries, he certainly just didn't look like he was in the same fight. But there's a lot of potential for the young man. A lot of
Yep.
potential for the young man, and I mean, he could also be a little bit, shy based on injury, don't want to re-injure anything like that. But I think once he really finds his feet, I think he could be quite nasty to go up against just quietly.
Absolutely.
All right, now player in focus for this game, the Tassie Tiger. Tiger Campbell had himself a bit of a game as well. He really did quite well in this one. 20 points, 1 rebound, 3 assists, 4 3-pointers. He just kept popping up. He really just kept popping up. I'm really loving his play. I really cannot wait until we have Hamilton, Campbell, and Johnson just working together. I think the three of them are going to be really, really good to watch. I just hope that with the lack of time they've had together, they click really quickly, and that they've, we don't get to see what goes on at practice, and nor should we, but I really hope they're getting that time together to really click and form that chemistry, because that could be an absolute nasty 3-hit friggin' attack, but just exciting. All right. As we sit here and we sort of see the last of Tigers highlights for those watching the videos, this is also a good reminder to those on the audio that if you do want to see all the great visual clips, make sure you are checking us out on the YouTube as well. As much as we'll always do our best for an audio podcast, there's just something that what I say, a picture is 1,000 words. Well, certainly watching these clips is worth about a bazillion of them.
He's so good. It's hard, and I know that they're two different players. It's hard not to compare him to Jordan Crawford, who is probably my favorite player who's ever played for him. Played for the JackJumpers. They are very, very similar to watch. I think Tiger probably just lacks a half a yard of pace that Crawford used to have, that was able to break through screens and whatnot. And I would love to see him attack it just a little bit harder than he does. But seeing him pop up with 20 points, I think this was the first game. This is either first or second game he's cracked that 20-point mark this year. He nailed 4 3-pointers, which we've desperately needed some accuracy from the 3-point line. It just hasn't been going in. So look, I love Tiger. He's so flashy. We love his hair. He did a great interview on the Vitamins podcast last week. If you haven't listened to that, go and listen to that, because that was a really, really good insight in why he does what he does, and how much he loves his family. Was great to listen to.
A lot of respect.
Really respectful young man, and I think he's great. If we can get a bit of consistency out of him and a little bit more of attacking flair, I think he'll be a real weapon in this league.
Yeah, his hair's out there like Sonic the Hedgehog. Let's get some Sonic speed.
Yes.
All right.
I see him rolling up in a ball and doing roly polies at the length of the.
You just had to take it to the next level, didn't you, mate?
Yes, and yeah.
All right. Let's get into our previews of the upcoming games with Ants on the March. And we've got the Perth Wildcats coming up. We're over at RAC Arena on Saturday, November 8th at 9:30 p.m. So that's going to be a late one, which I guess this is what happens when you go to the other side of Australia and it's daylight savings and whatnot. So, yeah, probably good for JD, not so good for me.
Yeah, man. Why West Australians don't believe in daylight savings, I'll never know. I don't get that.
Are you going to this game or what?
I'm not. I only found out they were playing here today. My mate's got a birthday party on. So unfortunately, I'll have to watch the replay on Saturday morning before everyone gets out of bed.
Oh, fair enough. All right. So I don't know how I feel about this one, JD. I really don't know. Had you asked me at the start of the season, I probably would have easily turned around and said, yeah, it's a win. And I know a few times I was sitting there going, it's a win. Yep. Right now, I'm calling this one a loss.
This is your first loss call of the season, isn't it?
Yeah. And I think, look, if we don't have Mags, it's not going to go well. I just don't think it's going to go well. Pepper absolutely played one-on-one with us. Last game, he's probably going to do that again. JLA without Mags is going to have, I hate to say, is probably going to just have a free runway to the ring. They're sitting 5th on the ladder. We're slipped to 7th. Look, I don't really worry about all that ladder shit at the moment, to be honest with you. Up, down, left, right, who cares? Because all it takes is a game and you can go up, down quite easily. But I think at the moment they've got a little bit of momentum about them, the Wildcats, and we don't. That being said, though, in the past, we have done pretty well over at RAC Arena.
Absolutely.
So is that going to help us? Will maybe whatever it is that rubs us the wrong way about RAC going to fire us up? Don't know. But unfortunately, with this one, I really hope I'm eating my hat next podcast. I really am hoping so, but I'm going to call a loss on this one. JD, your thoughts?
It's going to be very, very tough. The last game we played against the Wildcats was a sort of a game of two halves. We were doing quite well, and then I don't know if you remember, but Mags injured himself, and then JLA had an absolute field day. He basically had the ball to himself for a half. So it's going to be very, very tough. A couple of pros, I guess, if you're going to mount a case for the JackJumpers win. Jaron really is out for up to 8 weeks with a hamstring, and he gave us some issues last time. He's not just a nepo baby, old Jaron really, because obviously his dad is the coach of the Wildcats, and Jaron's his special little boy. But he's going to be out with a hamstring injury. And the other thing that's working in our favours is in the last 5 games, Perth have gone win, loss, win, loss, win. So they are due a loss based on that trend. Outside of those two things, I think this could be a bit of a tough watch for the Jackies.
Now, I'm just having a look at this. Hang on a second.
Mm-hmm.
I just realized I read your shit again without thinking.
Yeah.
It ain't November 8th. We going back in time, are we?
Yeah, no. What did I put? Yeah, I don't know. Yeah. I don't pay much attention to that. It's tomorrow. It'll be November 15th.
Is it?
Yeah, it's on tomorrow. No, it's not. No, it's next week.
No, it's not. It's
this is high quality listening. It's on the 21st.
It's on the 21st. And the reason why I pulled that up is because on the 23rd, they're back home against the Sydney Kings. Oh, my God.
There you go.
This is where I do a help wanted ad.
This is quality podcasting right here.
Oh, Jesus. Anyway,
this is why numbers are dropping off, Berto.
Oh, that's it. Look, they are still going to RAC Arena. They're going over on November 21st. So they've got a few days to hopefully rest, recover, head over there. Then this is where it does get concerning, is because irrespective of what happens with this game, then 2 days later, they're turning around. They've got to fly back from Perth, come back down here to play my state against the Sydney Kings, who are currently sitting, I believe, they're in 6 on the ladder, I believe. And as much as I want to call that an easy win for us, I'm concerned
at the moment.
No, and I'm concerned because the Kings, who knows what Kings you're going to get when they show up. They've been up and down. I mean, they were starting to show the old moniker of Violet Crumble again, purple on the outside, crumble on the inside. It is concerning that I'm even thinking that we could easily take another home loss. I hope again that we win. I hope maybe the fact that I'm going to be there with my daughter and we're going to have a great time and be cheering the boys on, maybe a little bit of Tasmanian Takeover spirit will help lift the spirits of the Jackies and we can absolutely annihilate the Kings. But
you won from 1 this year at the venue, Berto.
That is true.
The catalyst.
That is true. And I mean, let's face it, when we won against the Kings.
That's right.
So, that's actually a really valid point. If we come out and play like we did for that Ignite game, I think that could be a winning winning formula to taking them down. We tried that at the start when we went up against Perth for that Ignite game, but I think Perth caught our number pretty quickly and just went,
sure.
No, we see that and we gotcha. And I hope we've learned from that when we go up against them on the 21st. No, this is how good I am. I read November 8 and didn't even realize what the date is. But to be honest with you, you could tell me we're now in December and I wouldn't have a clue at the moment. It's just been how it is.
Knows?
Anyway, so who you got? I know we haven't got that in, you haven't got it listed in the notes, but who you got against the Kings?
I haven't done enough research on the Kings. Let me just have a quick look to see how they are traveling. They've won the last 3 in a row. So that's going to be a tough ask coming off 5 losses from the JackJumpers. Who knows? Maybe Scott Roth will pull them in to a team meeting, clunk all their heads together, and make them remember what the JackJumpers are, what we've achieved, and that'll be the game that turns us around, and we go undefeated for the rest of the season. That's my call. We are going to win that game and not lose again for the rest of the season.
That's a big bloody call.
I'll put money on it.
Oh, Jesus.
I'm not a bet man.
Yeah, you stay well away from the TAB. Don't go buying any jerseys. Don't go doing any of that because, All right, well, we're now just about at the end of the show, and Ant Army update. I don't think we've really got any to cover off this week. What I can say is I have done another drive-by past the High Performance Centre, and it's coming along really quite nicely. We've got some walls up. It's starting to really take shape. Like for a little while there, I was driving past going, damn, that looks a bit small, actually, But now it's really starting to take some real shape and various annexes off there, or what I assume are annexes and whatever else. So looking quite good. It seems to be well and truly on track, which is fantastic. I think it's a race as to which will go up first. The new shopping centre over at Spring Farm, where I'm looking forward to there being a Chemist Warehouse there so that I can pop in there on the regular, or
your savings.
Exactly, or the High Performance Centre, which is apparently going to have a merch shop inside where I could also go and spend all my savings. So either way, I'm screwed. All right, well, folks, please, thank you for tuning in, and please continue to tune in each and every week and keep sharing and letting people know about this podcast. We promise we will get better and better each and every week. We had some fantastic comments to say that it's, we're looking the business and whatever else, even if sometimes we don't sound the business. No, but as we say, we are passionate fans about the JackJumpers, and even when we are flat chat and barely able to find the time to do the potty, we will try to get on here on the regular and get this out to you, even if we balls up 1,000 times over. The passion is still there. JD, hopefully we have a good couple of games coming up, and enjoy your week ahead.
Fingers crossed, Berto. Let's get over to Perth, get over to my hometown, and make the Wildcats look like pussycats.
Absolutely. It's a shame you can't get to the game and I don't know, put some oil or something on the court. I don't know. I don't condone that kind of behaviour, but I also wouldn't be unhappy. Anyway,
I'll tell you what, I'm kind of glad I'm not going. There's the guy who does the call at the ground. He is an absolute nut job in at the Wildcats arena. It's almost like they give the guy a bag of cocaine and a microphone and just say go for it. He is nuts. So I'm looking forward to not having to listen to that.
Jesus, there's a write-up if I've ever heard one. And on that note, JackJumpers, Ant Army, march on.